Hey guys, it's Thomas here again. I posted a video of a tour of my drum set a year ago. A lot of you guys wanted to know more about my current setup. This is it. This is the DW Collector Series Maple Mahogany kit that I'm using right now. The one I used last year was a maple kit. This is a maple mahogany kit. I like to play 24-inch bass drums. These are 24 by 14, so check out how shallow these shells are. They're really shallow, and I like that. They're very fast. The closer the heads are together, the faster the air can move between the two membranes and re-stimulate the membranes. It's very important, particularly on tom-toms, because that's why they call them fast sizes, because the air bounces back between the two membranes very quickly and stimulates both heads very evenly. You get a nice, sustained, really beautiful, sort of organic, very even sound. And I love it on the kick drums. It also makes them a lot lighter because there's less weight on the drum if they're smaller like that. I get the great, big diameter, but really nice shallow sizes. I use a 14 by 6.5 edge snare drum. Beautiful drum. If I take my stick bag off, I'll show you. I always keep my stick bag in the middle, by the way, because that way I can access it with both hands. If your left stick breaks and you have to reach over here, for your stick bag, it's very uncomfortable and silly. So you can see here, there's a plug for my internal miking system here that comes straight out of the snare drum. But of course, I also use a Audix i5 on the top, and I use these Vic Firth marching bags because I really only need a few pairs of sticks, maybe 8 or so for a show maximum. So I don't need to have the whole giant, freaking bulky, heavy stick bag sitting here. I usually have it somewhere behind me. All I need is a small bag of the sticks that I actually use for the gig. I find also that the giant, large stick bag kind of muffles the tom-toms. If you hang it on a tom-tom, it really chokes the sound of the drum. It really kind of blocks the sound. It makes the drum set sound completely out of balance. So I don't like the giant stick bags on my right by the floor tom. This is a nice little melodic array of Rata toms. This is a 12-inch depth, 14, 16, and 18, and all 6 inches in diameter. I use two 24 by 14 bass drums. So I'm going to let you hear the drums now. I'm going to start with the Rata toms. Very unusual, very percussive sounds. And all the drums, I'm using smooth white Emperor drum heads. These are not Mylar drum heads, they're Melonix. It's a different material, it's a different film, but they're 2-ply Remo Emperor smooth white heads. They're kind of they're not as open maybe as a Mylar head, like a clear Emperor. They have a certain amount of muffling because it's a different film. Very easily tuned and very, very kind of what's the word? Focused sounding. Okay, so. And you can tune them very open, and they last forever. They're fantastic hits. So this is a 10 by 4. By 5. (16 by 14). And 18 by 16.
What are those little things on your snare drum and floor tom there?
Those things?
Yeah, what are those?
These are dampeners, drum head dampeners, and they are by far, I find, the best ones around. They're called drum tacks. They are foam discs with an adhesive on the bottom that muffle the drum head just right. You can cut them in half if you want, not as much muffling.
Does it stick only once, or can you use them?
They're totally recyclable. You can use these for years, actually. When you pull the drum tack off after you use it, if you change heads, for example, all you need to do is clean the bottom with any alcohol-based solvent, anything. Could be Listerine or a vodka. And it reactivates the glue of the tack, and it'll stick forever again. So, totally recyclable, super clean.
Super green.
Super green, in fact. Clean and green drum tacks. No, seriously. I love these things. And they look neat, too. They don't look like a freaking green booger on your, a blue booger or something on your drum kit.
Yeah.
They don't collect all that nasty, sawdust and stick dust and whatever. Drum tacks. Okay, check them out. And I use 3 in my snares because this one I want pretty dead at the moment. For the song I just tracked, I needed a really sort of dry, very kind of controlled sound. So I use 3 on the snare drum. I have 1 on my 60-inch floor tom. Just enough dampening that I need, and I have 2 on the 18.
Have you ever put them on cymbals? Like, have you ever put?
Yeah, you can use them on any kind of percussion or drum instrument. I have used them actually a bunch of times on the underside of my right cymbal when I want a more controlled right cymbal sound.
That's what I was thinking.
Less wash, less ring. Just stick one on the bottom, and obviously depending on how close to the stand you mount, you get more or less muffling. The closer to the edge, the more muffling you get. So, and they stick on the underside of the cymbal, which is fantastic. Most of those gel-based products come off, if you stick them on the bottom of a cymbal and you hit the cymbal, they just fly off,
Yeah.
like a booger that just dried in the cymbal.
I feel like it work well for a cowbell too, actually.
They do indeed, in fact, yes. I have another, not this one, but another cowbell. I have 2 on the inside, and it gives the perfect amount of muffling. You can use them on anything, on drum heads, on cymbals, cymbal undersides, cowbells, on a cajon I used it before. You can even use it on acoustic instruments like guitars. If you want less ring of your body, just stick one of those drum tacks on it. It kills all the unwanted overtones and helps with feedback and so on. Here's a pack. Check it out. They look like this. Drum tacks. Below the belt, this is what's going on down here. I have a right and a left kick drum. So these are 2 24-inch kick drums. So 2 kick drums, then I have 2 hi-hats here. I've done this for probably close to 20 years or so. 2 kick drums and 2 hi-hats on the outside of that. I like to use hi-hat stands and not the remote hats or the cable hats. Right there. And it's mounted on the hoop of the bass drum with one of those DW hoop clamps here. Very, very efficient. My left hi-hat is in fact mounted to the rack. And it's very easy to set up this way. This is a really tiny little rack. It's very portable and it holds a lot of stuff. I mean, this whole left side of my drum kit is mounted on this mini rack here. I call them stealth racks because they're so stealthy. You don't really see the whole rack construction, and I hate it when you see a lot of rack when you set up your drums. I want to see the drums, not so much the hardware. So I use these sort of stealthy looking racks, stealth racks. Here I have a Mino Crasher. Here I have a Remo TSS drum. And on the same rack I have also mounted these 4 Ratatoms, the hi-hat, the main hi-hat, a splash cymbal, China, and my trigger module. So there's a lot of stuff happening on this one little rack.